This is going to be a very fun and exciting video to share with you guys because I want to go over the scenario that I can almost perfectly see playing out the end of July as well as throughout the month of August. And I think it's pretty straightforward. And like Adam Aaron says, read between the lines, and that's exactly what we are going to do here in this video. It will be a little bit of a price prediction, I guess, if you want to call it that. We're going to talk about how high potentially AMC stock could go, mix that in with what's going to happen to the markets at the same time, and the fact that the markets could actually feed into AMC and could make this rally even more explosive, guys. So we have a lot to cover here in this video. Like I said, it's going to be very fun and exciting. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. The more people that do that, the more this video will get pushed out to a new audience that maybe needs to hear this insight, or maybe it will just help the price of AMC stock go up. So thank you guys for doing that. It is free 99. Comment down below, what is your theory? What do you think is going to happen around this August 4th date? Before that, after that, let me know your guys' thoughts over the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys for doing all of that. If you want to come trade with me live in real time, a link down below in the description. You bet your ass we're going to be trading this. You bet your ass we're going to be trading the markets pretty heavily around that time. It's going to be very, very exciting. We have a lot coming throughout the rest of July and throughout the month of August. So let's get straight into this video. First things first. The reason I'm making this video is because the coincidental timing of all of this information. And if you guys don't know what I mean, we'll break it down here in just 1 second. But Adam Aaron, he tweeted out, essentially, I keep getting asked when pounce. Know this: 1, I always keep my word. 2, I've said publicly a pounce will not happen before second quarter 2022 earnings are announced. 3, press release issued today that Q2 earnings to be announced on Thursday, August 4th. Read between those lines. And I think that's the most telling thing. Obviously, when pounce, but also read between those lines. Because what did Adam Aaron say at the last earnings call? He says, quote, "Your ire and anger directed at short sellers is evident," Aaron said on May 9th. "I hear your suggestions that we should call for more market regulation by governments, or that we should take more company action by issuing a cash, gift card, or NFT dividend." I think that kind of gives away read between the lines and what AMC wants to do. Some kind of way to reward AMC shareholders. If you are a shareholder, you are being rewarded. Well, if you're a short, you have to pay out that said reward. But he goes on to say, Aaron said that listeners shouldn't interpret silence as inaction. Quote, "We are constantly exploring the smartest courses of action, and I promise you that we will pounce, but only when the timing is right." That is what he is referring to, that he always keeps his word by saying he promises we will pounce, but only when the timing is right. Now, the timing is right. Let me just tell you guys this. Adam Aaron, the AMC board, they're not stupid, right? Everyone wants AMC to squeeze as far as upper management. People know that. But what actually causes the short squeeze? It is the inability of shorts to stay in a position. And how does that happen? Well, if your portfolio drops too much before a stock starts to squeeze, well, you're going to get squeezed out of your position a lot sooner. You could have forced share recalls, and that can happen for a lot of reasons, but the most likely, scenario that would play out now is just because hedge funds portfolios are in such bad shape already that if you start to see a stock going against you and you have a large short position in that stock, well, some of the brokers are going to want their shares back before that situation gets out of hand, before there's bankruptcies, before you have a Three Arrows Capital event and you owe all these people money, yet you have no money left, right? So there's that, right? And this was just breaking down what he said on the last earnings call. But he says, when the timing is right, but only when the timing is right. Now, why is the timing probably the best time in the world around August 4th? Well, the Fed is going to be raising rates on July 27th, and we'll go ahead and refresh this, and there is about even a 7.6% chance of getting a 1% rate hike. That is absolutely wild. Why are the markets still going up? Well, a lot of portfolio rebalancing is happening right now. That's the likely reason why the markets are still going up. But the markets will, throughout the month of July, start to realize that the markets are starting to price in a 1% rate hike a little bit more. 7.6%. All it takes is, CPI to come in really high, which we'll talk about that. It's expected to come in very high for this upcoming week. And some good retail sales data next week, and you're going to be looking at a 1% rate hike priced into the markets. And that's what the Fed is going to do. So that is on July 27th. On July 28th, you do get the advanced estimates for Q2 GDP, which the latest estimate we have for Q2 GDP from the Atlanta Fed is negative 1.2%. Just earlier in the week, we were expecting a negative 2.1% print, but we did have that good employment data, so it did, move the numbers around a little bit. But this would still mean we are in a Wall Street technical recession, 2 declining quarters of GDP growth. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good at all for the end of July. But during this same time period, for that July 29th expiration, because July 29th is a Friday, you're going to have Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon at the same time reporting their earnings. And I think this article says it best. Right here. S&P 500 earnings estimates may be too high. The equity market may be setting itself up for disappointment this summer. Earnings trends for the S&P 500 have been rising despite growing concerns of a U.S. recession due to the Fed tightening cycle. Even odder is that many of the top companies in the S&P 500 like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta Platforms have seen their earnings estimates for the calendar second quarter falling along with the entire year. And analysts have yet to adjust their operating margin estimates for the S&P 500, which remain near historic highs. So he's basically saying some of these companies have seen, revised estimates, but one, not in a big way, but the S&P 500 has not seen anything revised. So we're trading right now, believe it or not, on the S&P 500 with analysts expecting record profits and record revenue for the S&P 500. Let me just tell you right now, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think that's pretty clear to see. If you have not seen people slowing down in your real life, well, maybe you're rich, because I've personally seen people slowing down, not buying as much, not doing as much because the price of gas and many other things. So you're going to have probably a really bad earnings season. At the same time, you get the Fed raising rates potentially as high as 1%. At the same time, we go into a technical recession. So you have all of that. But let's even go ahead and look at AMC options around that same time frame. So we go ahead and pull up options on the Ortex data for July 29th. 73% of the total open interest is calls. Go out to something like August 5th. 74% of the total open interest is calls. You go out to even the end of August, call it September, you still have 58% of the open interest that is calls. Go out to August 19th, 52% still. Overwhelmingly bullish. And I do think this squeeze event would really happen, the end of July, around August 5th, August 12th, August 19th. Those are going to be the most important dates that I definitely want to pay attention to. But overall, very, very bullish option activity that we are seeing. Now, if we go ahead to the S&P 500, we can see it's the total opposite. Go to the options and go out to start with July 29th. 21% of the total open interest is calls. Go out to August 19th. That's going to be a big expiration. Only 27% of the total open interest is calls. So it's completely flip-flopped here. It looks like hedge funds are bullish on AMC, believe it or not, throughout the rest of July and throughout August, whereas they're not bullish for the overall markets at all. This is showing a lot of fear. So I think we're a couple bad catalysts away. I think we're very, very close to seeing a downside move in the markets, and that is going to constrain liquidity in hedge funds portfolios. At the same time, I personally think Adam Aaron and the AMC board is going to announce a cash dividend, gift card, or NFT dividend, some way to reward shareholders. But also at the same time, I think they're going to announce other catalysts. We're obviously going to get an update to the crypto business, to the credit card business, to the popcorn business. Maybe they're already starting those businesses, right? But I think we're also going to get some kind of new stake, some new, company that AMC started to acquire. And I think all of those things are going to be a big event, because you can get a dividend and, it could be a big deal. Remember BBIG, that thing went up a little bit, but it did not squeeze and it had really high short interest. But you add a lot of other fundamental positive things, even add in there a really good earnings, potentially making a bigger profit than people expected. And you could see how this could turn into not just one thing, but many different things people are excited about, that drives up the price of AMC stock, that squeezes out hedge funds, because right now there is not as much collateral out there. Let me just tell you guys that if, some hedge funds, Tiger Global, for an example, is down 52% last we knew. Well, they're going to be a lot quicker to cover on their AMC short position, because they have to, because they don't have as much collateral to put up to remain in that position. Now, if we go ahead and look at the charts and what the S&P 500 might do towards the end of July throughout the month of August, I personally think you're probably going to make your way down to about 330, at least 330. That would be about a 15% move to the downside. That is where you would mark a bottom, in my personal opinion, and I think it's going to happen pretty damn quickly. You could throw in a 5, 6, 7% negative day in there, and you're halfway there. Right? So I think in that regard, the markets are probably going to fall pretty quickly once they realize, hey, we got this all wrong. Earnings are not going to be good. Things are not okay in the markets, and the Fed is still raising rates, and they're going to make an error. They're going to push us into a very deep recession. So you're going to have more portfolio constraints during this time. Whereas at the same time, AMC stock, we know what's been happening over the last 2 days or so, approaching this 100-day moving average. I think AMC is going to go for a pretty parabolic rally. It wouldn't even surprise me if we do get, a couple good catalysts, right? Earnings, let's say earnings are good. Let's say we get a dividend. Let's say, Adam Aaron is starting to launch their credit card business, their popcorn business. Maybe they have pre-orders for some of these things, and maybe they acquire a stake in another company. Well, you could see a pretty parabolic kind of rally, and you could probably hit new all-time highs based off that, based off of market conditions that we are currently seeing, because the conditions for a short seller, not so good. You got to be worried about a short position going against you if you're a hedge fund right now, just because, your portfolio values are down dramatically, so you got to be a lot quicker to cover on that short position. And I do think a couple good catalysts coming, at the same time will be the reason that we can break out to new all-time highs. And then it's really a domino effect from there. And as far as how high we go after we hit all-time highs, that's a question I can't answer. But I do think it could be enough to push us to new all-time highs, in my personal opinion. Now, obviously not financial advice, not a recommendation, but I just think given where markets are at, given even where the short interest is at, given where the option activity is at, even the price action over the last 2 days, you give us some good catalyst, you give us a dividend, something that shorts have to pay out, and you're going to see a parabolic rally. That's it. That's the bottom line to it. So that is going to be all for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys found value out of it. Thank you for watching. If you guys want to come join me in the trading community, link down below in the description, as well as get your free stocks, also link down below in the description. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one.